I think the question is rhetorical, you know what the impact will be. But I don't think we should do what China is doing.
No.
So my point is this. I think we would do serious injustice to our values if we resorted to the same kind of behavior. I am not asking you to be patient like Gandhi, who says let your women and men die and throw them into the sacrificial fire until the barbarian reforms himself. I am not making that statement at all one bit. The response has to be slightly different. The response is to first of all assert legally, politically, socially and culturally your civilizational ethos without any sense of shame, without any sense of embarrassment, so that it becomes clear that this is the natural homeland first for Indic communities. But everybody else will be treated with respect, provided you do not endanger the very house you have been given refuge in. As long as you don't have the guts to take that position, you will always look for extreme solutions. You doesn't mean you, sir, I'm generally saying, right? I'm merely saying that we are forced to look at such extreme options because there's a lot of impotent rage which is boiling and simmering within us.
Yes.
And we are not looking at intelligent, suave, sophisticated, politically correct options to present what has become politically incorrect. You should know how to weave and navigate this maze of political correctness and yet make your point confidently. If you don't learn that, and if you don't hone that particular art, and you don't teach the next generation to become ambassadors of your community, then you will produce an assimilated, deracinated lot, which will benefit anybody else and everybody else except us. Let's start with that. Because China has been able to do that for multiple reasons. One, because of a combination of factors. One is the model of governance, which is if their own people don't have rights, what rights will others have? Forget it, right? If you have to build a road either in the United States or in India, you have to take permission from everybody else. And usually the road which was meant to be like this would have become like this. But there they can draw a straight line and they can do what they want without taking permission from anyone. So you cannot compare yourself with that kind of a system. Second, fundamental ideology of Confucian Chinese system is uniformity and order. If you notice the speeches of Xi Jinping over the last 3-4 years, where he's been speaking of China as a civilizational state, as opposed to Buddhism, Taoism and Confucianism, he's going back to Confucianism because that philosophy emphasizes on uniformity. That's not the case with Taoism and Buddhism. Therefore, he has cherry-picked that particular strand of philosophy that is consistent with the worldview of the Communist Party of China. No party in India can hope to do that because of the sheer diversity. And most importantly, I think as opposed to playing good victims, we will hand another opportunity to the world to call us oppressors. 2002, where the facts have been distorted, has been used to brandish us all over the world. Notwithstanding the fact that 69 people were burnt before that in a train. Nobody talks about it at all. So I don't think you should look at these options. One, because it is ethically wrong. Not just because it is optically wrong, but it is ethically and morally wrong. But as inheritors of an argumentative tradition, I'm sure we are capable of better strategies to deal with the situation. Particularly because this is not a time when people are limited to newspapers. You have so many means of democratization of opinion. Social media, discussion forums, a prosperous diaspora which is capable of shouting from the US about India, both in the positive as well as in the negative. These factors and these resources must be used first. If they still don't work, whether you like it or not or I like it or not, history will find a way.
Yeah, but gentleness is in vain when vengeance follows.
Sorry, sir?
Gentleness is in vain when vengeance follows.
I am not going to ask you to be gentle at all. My suggestion or my message is not gentleness at all. In fact, the root of my message, the spirit of my message, everywhere I've spoken, is Kshatra, Kshatra and Kshatra alone. Regardless of which community you come from. Which is action, action and action alone. I am not asking you to be passive, inert, dormant, silent, docile. No. I am asking you to first start talking, assert yourself politically, assert yourself in every platform possible, take an interest in every election, in every policy, and ask yourself if it is furthering your interest as a community, as a dharmic community, whether or not it is consistent with the conception of dharma. Ask that question. When dharma becomes a central foundation for policy making in India, you won't be asking this question anymore. The need for this question would have become redundant. Next. Yes.